Good morning, everybody. It's Chef Christy, and I'm here in my brand new kitchen. And a friend of mine asked me about making poached eggs, and so he asked me if I would do a video on poaching eggs, and I said, sure, we can do that. So, Nicholas, this is for you. We're gonna make some poached egg this morning. It's super easy, and I have all the ingredients I need here in my quarantine kitchen. So join me, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast right along with me. Ingredients for my poached eggs include 2 eggs, and you'll notice that I have them cracked into individual small bowls, and that little bowl is an important part of this cooking method. So it doesn't have to be exactly that shape, custard cup. It just has to be, it can be a teacup, little saucer, monkey dish, ramekin, anything that you've got that's about the size and shape of an egg that you can dip into the water. We're gonna do that later. Have a little salt. I've got some white wine vinegar. You can use any kind of vinegar. You could even use white vinegar for this. I don't usually use that for cooking, but it's going to add a little bit of flavor. You could put some apple cider vinegar in there if you want to. I wouldn't recommend balsamic or red wine vinegar because it's going to make your eggs pink, but you know, you do you if that's what you like. And then over here, I've got a pot of water that I am bringing to a simmer. And it hasn't quite got there yet. I am using my simmer eye because this wonderful new stove has got a high boil ultra heat burner on the front and a simmer burner on the back. So it makes it a little hard to film it, but I get a nice low simmer quality burn back there. So I'm going to use that, and then we're going to do the best we can with the filming. There's what I'm going to put it on top of. That is some Chinese broccoli and some kielbasa that I stir-fried up the other night with a little bit of garlic and soy sauce and sesame oil. And generally, you know, poached eggs go on top of toast or eggs Benedict or any kind of meat or seafood or breakfast thing that you want. I didn't really... Normally, I would make up a big batch of hollandaise and just go all out. I didn't really feel like doing that this morning, so I'm going to use this Chinese broccoli and kielbasa base. I'm just going to put my poached eggs right on top of that, and I think I'll drizzle a little tamari on top of it when I'm done, so that'll be my poached egg breakfast. My little pot of water has just now come to the simmer, and you can tell the difference between a simmer and a boil because you've got lots of little tiny bubbles on the bottom of the pot, barely breaking the surface every few seconds, which is what's happening in this pot, as opposed to a rolling boil where your bubbles are much bigger and they're hitting the surface at a really rapid rate. The bubbles are actually functional in this method too because they actually help keep the egg from settling on the bottom of the pot. So this is not only a temperature that you want to maintain, but it also helps to cook the eggs. All right, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I don't want it to go any faster than that. So if you don't have a snazzy new oven and you don't have a simmer function, you can use something called a heat diffuser. And these are my heat diffusers. They actually went through my fire, so they look a little rough, but these are something that you can put on top of a gas burner. Of course, these gas burners have these great grills on top of them. And that helps you achieve a simmer by giving you a little distance between your pot and the flame. All right, so there we go. So now I want to add a little bit of my vinegar and, okay, a tablespoon. Let's just say a tablespoon. There we go, that's a tablespoon. And the vinegar gives acidity to the water, and that helps the egg white coagulate, helps you cook it. I'm going to give it a stir. And this is another thing that helps with the cooking method, is creating that vortex. You see that nice little vortex that I created in there? Doesn't have to be a perfect tornado, but I'm going to stir like this, and then I'm going to take my egg, and I'm going to go right down into the middle of that vortex, and my egg's going to go round and around in a circle. Look at that. And I'm even going to help that out a little bit. And this right there keeps it from sticking to the bottom of the pot so that you don't get egg adhered to the bottom of the pot. Oops, a little slow there. I'm going to get my vortex spinning again. Go right back in the middle with my second egg. And it's going to go around in a circle too. Just going to spin that a little bit. And you don't have to continue to do this just while that bottom part of the egg is forming up. And see my eggs, they're getting a little feathery right at the top, but mostly they are staying together in a nice little pod formation, which is what I want. And now I'm going to give these eggs about 3-4 minutes. I want to make sure that the egg whites are cooked all the way through and that my egg yolks are still runny, because we want that wonderful, wonderful money shot at the end where you burst into the yolk and it oozes all over the food that you've just placed it on top of. Oh, makes me drool just thinking about it. Okay, so we're going to give these a couple minutes. And notice when I put the egg cup down into the water, I submerge it about halfway and tilt the egg out so that the egg yolk doesn't have a chance of breaking when it hits the water. You don't want it to plop onto the water surface. You want to slide it gently into the water. I'm going to add a little salt to the water. So these eggs are not quite done, and if I look at them and I wiggle them, I can see that that egg white is still very jiggly, which means it hasn't cooked all the way through, which means I know that the egg yolk hasn't cooked all the way through yet. They've got about another minute. All right, let's check our eggs. This is the same one I was jiggling a minute ago. All right, that one is now much less jiggly, and I am pretty sure that we have a really good poached egg there. So I'm going to put this on top of my greens and kielbasa. That one's got a nice little jiggle to it as well. All right, there we go. I'm going to hit that with a little tamari, which is a gluten-free soy sauce. Just a little bit there. There we go. All right. This is the part we all wait for with that lovely. Oh, that's it right there. That's what we want to see right there. Actually, could have gotten those out maybe a minute earlier. I was messing around with the video, but that's okay. They still have a nice liquid center, and they're doing their best to goosh out on my meat. So this is going to be a wonderful poached egg. All right, let me go ahead and take a bite here. I'm not going to film myself eating. You're going to have to imagine this part. Oh, poached eggs are my favorite. So there you have it. So there we go. Poached eggs, pretty simple. Hot water, vinegar, a little salt in the water, some egg cups, a slotted spoon, and something to enjoy it on top of, and you have got yourself a lovely egg breakfast. Happy quarantine, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm sure you still got some eggs in the house, so give this one a try. Let me know how it goes. Bye.